Hey everyone, today we're brushing soft lotion onto our hands while the morning sun slips through gauzy curtains, painting golden patches across the kitchen table. There's the quiet clink of a teaspoon against ceramic, and maybe growing older isn't about fading, maybe it's just becoming softer in a world that always asked you to be hard. So before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what we do here at Golden Beauty. Let me know your age or just say hi and tell me your favorite self-care ritual these days. Now take a deep breath, maybe put on your coziest robe, and let's begin today's reflection. Today we're heading into the garden, but not just any garden. This is a space where teacups hang like art from the trees and a rusted chair cradles a burst of daisies. Where everything has a second life and beauty is built not from wealth but from wonder. These are the garden DIYs that don't ask much of your wallet or your hands. Just a little heart, a little imagination, and the courage to see elegance in the overlooked. Whether it's a chipped dish, a forgotten suitcase, or a wind chime made from grandma's old earrings, today's ideas turn thrift store treasures into garden poetry. You don't need to be young, you don't need to be strong, you just need a few quiet hours, the warmth of the sun, and the belief that something beautiful still wants to bloom with you. Let's begin. You find it tucked in the back of a Goodwill bin, a little porcelain teacup with a delicate pink rose along the rim. There's a crack in the handle, a small chip near the edge. Some might pass it by, but you pick it up gently, as if recognizing a friend who's aged in grace, not in flaw. That cup reminds you of quiet mornings from another time. Maybe your mother had one like it filled with hot tea and honey. Maybe you remember wrapping your hands around something like it while rocking a baby to sleep, the house still dark, except for the glow of a nearby lamp. Today that teacup becomes something new, something that serves again. With a bit of craft glue, a vintage spoon as a perch and a wire hanger, it transforms into a charming bird feeder. Hang it from a tree outside your window or from the edge of your porch beam. Fill it with sunflower seeds or crushed peanuts and watch as the chickadees come by for a visit. You might even give it a name, Rose's Cafe or The Little Nook. The beauty of this project isn't in how perfect it looks, but in how easy it is for your hands. There's no heavy lifting, no bending or fussing. Just a soft cloth to clean the cup, a few simple tools, and the joy of seeing something old live again. What makes this idea special is how personal it feels. You can mix and match cups, each with its own pattern and story. One might remind you of a wedding set. Another could bring back memories of your first apartment, mismatched dishes and all. The garden slowly becomes a museum of your own life, not in a grand, flashy way, but in whispers and gestures. And as birds flutter in and out, you may find yourself sitting longer by the window, listening, smiling, maybe even speaking softly to them like old friends. You start to realize this isn't just a bird feeder, it's a message. That even cracked things can still hold joy. That time doesn't take beauty away, it simply changes how it's expressed. That teacup with its faded roses and worn edges is no longer forgotten. It feeds something again, just like you. There's something about old lanterns that feels like a story waiting to be told. You find one on a dusty shelf at the Goodwill outlet. Maybe the glass is smudged or the metal frame is tarnished, but it still glows with possibility. You cradle it carefully, not just for what it is, but for what it could become. Years ago, you might have used one during summer power outages or carried it out to the back garden when twilight turned the world soft and blue. It feels familiar, sturdy, useful, beautiful in its simplicity. Now, with a few small touches, it can live again in a way that delights both the eyes and the spirit. This project is simple and soothing. Take that lantern home and open the door to its little chamber. Instead of a candle place, a handful of smooth pebbles at the base, you can collect them on a slow walk, or pick some from your backyard. Nestle a small potted succulent or artificial plant inside. If you like a little twinkle tuck in a short string of battery-operated fairy lights. Close the door. What you've made isn't just a planter, it's a tiny sanctuary. You can place it on a patio table, on a porch rail, or beside your favorite chair. And if you've got a few lanterns, they don't even have to group them together in a cozy corner like a cluster of glowing friends. And here's the real beauty, it's nearly effortless. There's no digging or planning, no strain on your back or hands. Just arranging and admiring. You can switch out the plants with the seasons, maybe pine cones in winter, dried lavender and spring seashells come summer. This project is more than a decor trick, it's a reminder. A lantern's purpose isn't just to hold fire, it's to offer comfort in the dark, elegance in the quiet. And maybe that's a bit like you now. You don't burn with the same frantic energy of your younger years, but you shine in your own way. Softer, steadier. The lantern once forgotten becomes a container for life. And you, dear one, are still full of light. In the back of a drawer, you might still have a spoon that no longer matches any set, or a single earring that's lost its partner. Tiny, ordinary things that feel like clutter to some, but not to you. To you, they hold time. A family dinner, a favorite outfit, a laugh from someone who's now a memory. Today, we turn those small, forgotten objects into something new, a wind chime that sings of your life piece by piece. Start with a mason jar lid or even a simple metal ring. From an old embroidery hoop, something circular that can serve as the top. From there, gather your treasures. Spoons, forks, keys, vintage buttons, even soda can tabs. If it tinkles or clinks, it's perfect. With just a bit of fishing line or twine, gently tie each item to the ring, letting them hang at different lengths. There's no right way, just whatever looks and feels beautiful to you. If your fingers don't like tying tiny knots anymore, use small jewelry clips or keychains to make the work gentler on your hands. As the wind stirs, your garden will begin to hum soft metallic whispers of memory. Not loud or flashy, but honest and soothing. A kind of music that says, I'm still here. Hang it where you sip your morning tea or where the sun hits in the afternoon. Let it catch both the breeze and your attention. It might surprise you how comforting it feels to hear a sound you made from things you once thought had no more use. This isn't just decoration, it's reclamation. You're saying this mattered. That old bracelet, that thrifted spoon with the ornate handle, the piece of lace from a dress you wore dancing, all of it matters. It mattered then, and it matters now. And together, they create a chorus, a song that only you could compose. Aging doesn't mean letting go of every little thing. Sometimes it means holding on in a new way. Giving memory form, giving the past a place to live right outside in the wind, where beauty sways gently, never demanding, only existing. The wind will come, the chime will sing, and you'll remember even the smallest pieces still make music. You spot it leaning against a bin at the thrift store, an old mirror maybe cracked at one corner, or with a frame that's seen better days. Some might see only the flaws, but you see the chance for light, depth, and surprise. Mirrors don't just belong in bathrooms or bedrooms. Outside, they become something magical. They reflect sunlight, greenery, and the quiet movements of wind through leaves. And perhaps most wonderfully, they reflect you just as you are amid the blooming. This garden mirror project starts simply. You'll need an old mirror square round or framed like a window. Clean the surface gently with warm water and vinegar, wiping it until the glass is clear again. Then consider painting or distressing the frame if you'd like to match your garden's feel soft white for a cottage, look faded blue for something coastal, or leave the chips and weathering as they are. Let them tell their own story. Next, choose where to place it. You don't need tools or hardware unless you want to mount it. Even leaning it safely against a fence secured by some stones or tucked behind a flower pot can create depth and beauty. For more stability, use zip ties or screws to anchor it to a wooden post or trellis. Suddenly, your small garden feels twice as large. The mirror catches sunlight as it moves across the day. It doubles your flowers, your herbs, your view. And when you look toward it, you catch glimpses of yourself watering the basil of a breeze, brushing your shawl of the life you've built growing and blooming still. This reflection isn't vanity, it's reverence. A mirror in the garden is a reminder that beauty doesn't disappear, it changes its angle. That just like light, you shift and shine in different ways with each new season. There's something powerful about seeing yourself reflected among green leaves and lavender. It reminds you that you are still a part of nature's rhythm. That just like the garden, you keep growing quietly, beautifully on your own terms. So let that mirror open your space. Let it reflect more than plants. Let it reflect you soft, strong-rooted, and radiant. You remember it, don't you? That wooden chair that used to sit in the kitchen, the one with the spindle back and the paint worn smooth by years of elbows and laughter? Maybe it was yours. Maybe it came from a church sale or a neighbor's curb. Wherever it began, it now waits for a second act. And here's the joy: it doesn't need to be perfect to perform. Even if it's missing a slat or a leg wobbles slightly, this chair still has grace, the kind that comes from years of standing tall. With just a bit of creativity and kindness, it becomes a plant stand like no other, lifting your favorite blooms as if to say, look, this is still beautiful. Start by removing the seat if it's too worn, or simply place a wire basket or large clay saucer on top. Line it with coconut fiber moss or an old pillowcase, and fill it with potting soil and your favorite cascading plants, maybe petunias, trailing ivy, or a small fern. You don't have to lift anything heavy, ask someone for help, or use smaller nursery pots already filled and just nestle them inside. Set it by your front door or under a shady tree. Let it be a little unexpected. A chair that no longer seats guests now hosts blossoms, butterflies, and quiet joy. There's something poetic about giving an old chair a purpose like this. It's not just a clever upcycle, it's a way of honoring what's held you. You sat in chairs through meals and phone calls, through birthdays and late-night talks. This project isn't just about decoration, it's about gratitude. When you place your flowers in that chair, you're saying, you've carried enough. Now you get to rest and shine. And isn't that true for you too? Haven't you carried so much over the years? Family, work, worry, love. And now maybe it's your time to be held, to bloom in a different way. Aging doesn't mean the story ends. Sometimes it means the chair becomes a stage. And on that stage, the most tender, most beautiful moments still unfold. So find that forgotten chair, dust it off. Let it hold something lovely again, just like it held you. There's something timeless about an old suitcase. Maybe it once traveled across the country filled with a young woman's dreams and neatly folded dresses. Or maybe it sat for years in someone's attic, quietly holding letters, memories, or the scent of lavender. Now it waits patiently at the bottom of a Goodwill bin, scuffed, sturdy, and ready for its next chapter. This time it won't be carrying clothes or maps, it will carry life. Turning a vintage suitcase into a garden bed is one of those soul-satisfying projects that reminds you just how much beauty lives in second chances. It's surprisingly easy and wonderfully gentle on the body. No digging, no bending. Just a place to pour a bit of soil and creativity. First, open the case and check the lining. If it's intact, you can leave it for charm. If it's torn or musty, line the interior with thick plastic or a burlap sack to create a moisture barrier. Then gently drill a few drainage holes through the bottom. Or if drilling isn't your thing, just prop the case slightly open and raise it on a few bricks to allow for airflow underneath. Add a layer of gravel, then potting mix, and choose herbs or flowers that make you smile. Perhaps basil, mint, and chives near the kitchen door, or soft pansies and marigolds in a sun-drenched corner of the patio. Some women like to keep the suitcase closed slightly, letting vines or trailing plants spill from one side, like a secret garden slowly revealing itself. Others prefer the lid open wide with blooms bursting like a well-packed bouquet. What's most beautiful about this project is its symbolism. A suitcase once made to carry things away now holds roots. It becomes a place of settling, not leaving, of grounding, not going. And isn't that how this season of life feels sometimes? You've already done the traveling. You've already carried so much. Now you get to plant, to stay, to bloom where you are with what you have and who you've become. Place your suitcase garden where you can see it daily. Let it whisper reminders that your story is still unfolding, not in leaps, but in petals. That even when your edges feel worn, you can still carry something beautiful. Because you do, every single day. You spot it in a shadowed corner of the thrift store, a delicate wire birdcage once white, now kissed by rust. The latch sticks a little and the base wobbles, but it still holds something tender. It reminds you of antique shops, Sunday markets, maybe even a bird you once kept as a girl, one who sang to you in the quiet moments before the world came knocking. Today, this cage won't be for keeping things in. It will be for letting beauty out. Turning a vintage birdcage into a succulent display is an elegant nod to both the past and present. It requires little more than your vision and a few gentle steps. Begin by removing the perch and any remnants of its old life. Clean it softly with a cloth and warm soapy water. Don't worry about the rust or faded paint. Those marks are part of its charm, like laugh lines on a face that smiled for decades. Next, line the base with moss, the kind you can find at the garden center, or even dried sphagnum. It forms a soft nest that holds moisture and creates a dreamlike bed for your plants. Nestle in small pots of succulents, trailing ivy, or even air plants if you'd like a no-fuss option. Use wire or twine to secure little jars to the sides if you want to add more greenery at different levels. Place the birdcage on a table beneath a pergola or hang it gently from a shepherd's hook so it sways slightly in the breeze. The plants will spill through the bars like a slow exhale, life pouring out from a once empty space. What makes this project so powerful isn't just the result, but what it represents. A birdcage was once meant to confine to control, but here it holds only growth. Soft greens, small blossoms, things that change with the light. It becomes a sanctuary for what cannot be caged: your creativity, your softness, your wild grace. And in that way, it mirrors you. You've lived through years where expectations boxed you in roles, routines, rules, but now maybe you're learning that freedom isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a rusted birdcage that no longer traps but blooms. Let this be your garden's little rebellion, a beautiful reminder that the past doesn't define you. It simply gives you something rich to grow from. There it is, leaning half open in a bin of odds and ends fabric, a bit faded handle scuffed from years of use. An old umbrella once quick to shield someone from a storm now forgotten. But in your hands, it becomes something else entirely. You lift it gently, remembering the feel of cool rain on your shoulders, the smell of wet pavement in spring. Maybe you once shared an umbrella with someone you loved, laughing as you both got soaked anyway. Now this simple object will bloom in a different way, as a flower holder that opens not to the sky, but to beauty. This garden DIY is soft, symbolic, and surprisingly simple. Start by turning the umbrella upside down and securing it partially open with a ribbon or zip tie. Line the interior with a silk scarf, lace doily, or even a scrap of burlap, something that cradles the flowers and keeps the dirt from slipping through. Next, place small pots or bunches of artificial or fresh blooms, inside trailing ivy, begonias, zinnias, or whatever brings you joy. You don't need to dig or bend, just nestle them into the folds and let gravity do the arranging. Add a few sprigs of eucalyptus or lavender for fragrance if you'd like. Hang it from a tree branch or a porch beam using sturdy twine or a shepherd's hook. When the wind catches it gently, it sways like a mobile bouquet in the air, graceful, suspended, full of color and life. This project doesn't just turn heads, it turns something protective into something expressive. An umbrella is made to shield, to brace, but now it holds beauty, not because it must, but because it can. And maybe that's you now too. Once you were always preparing for storms, raising children, managing bills, keeping everything in place. But now you get to open up. You get to hold the soft things, the beautiful things. The upside-down umbrella becomes a metaphor for this season of life, not empty, but open. Not forgotten, but transformed. So let your umbrella bloom. Let it hang gently above your garden like a little piece of poetry. A reminder that even the most ordinary objects and the most weathered hearts can become something new, tender, and dazzling. You are not past your prime. You are still unfolding in the most beautiful way. And here we are, dear friend, at the edge of the garden where teacups hang like blessings and lanterns glow with quiet warmth. Where every rusted spoon, every cracked mirror, every old suitcase finds its voice again, not in perfection, but in purpose. That's the gift of aging, isn't it? You begin to see beauty not in what's new, but in what's known. In the softness of morning light on your hands, in the sound of wind moving through chimes you made yourself, in the peace that comes from creating something with care, not urgency. You've carried so much, loved so deeply, weathered seasons that tried to bend you, and yet here you are still blooming, still dreaming, still turning old things into wonder. The garden you build now doesn't need to be big. It only needs to be yours. A mirror of your grace, a reflection of your quiet strength. So which idea called to you most today? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. And if this video brought you comfort, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're building something gentle here at Golden Beauty, a place for elegance, creativity, and peace, and I'd be so honored to have you with us. Until next time, take care of your heart, tend your joy, and trust in the beauty still growing with you. End of script. Have a beautiful day.